Have you ever felt like you were standing on solid ground, only to realize the person you trust most is about to pull the rug right out from under you? Well, that is exactly where Steffi Forrester is standing right now, and the person holding the rug? It is her own father, Ridge. Is Ridge Forrester really about to commit the ultimate act of betrayal against his own daughter? We have all seen him torn before, right? It is kind of his thing. But this time, the stakes are not just about who he is going to spend his life with. This is about who holds the keys to the entire Forrester empire. Think about that for a second. Was this whole lingerie pitch by Brooke just a simple romantic gesture? Or was it a cold, calculated move to dismantle Steffi's legacy? Is Ridge simply incapable of saying no to the woman who has defined his life for decades? I want to know what you think, because this latest power play might be the final nail in the coffin for any hope of a Forrester-Logan truce. The atmosphere at Forrester Creations right now is so thick you could cut it with a pair of designer shears. We have Steffi sitting in that co-CEO chair, and let's be honest, her grip is so tight her knuckles are turning white. Meanwhile, Brooke is lurking in the shadows. Or, actually, she is lurking in the bedroom, plotting what looks like a total corporate coup. It is not just about fancy business titles anymore. This is a primal territorial dispute. We have to look at why this is happening now. The whole thing started when Steffi decided to shelve the Hope for the Future line. She said she wanted to focus on couture. But was that really a business decision? Or was she just asserting dominance? When she made that call, she wasn't just looking at spreadsheets. She was sending a message. And that message triggered a massive chain reaction. Hope feels silenced. Brooke feels like her daughter is being bullied. And now, Brooke is using the only weapon she knows Ridge cannot resist. She is using her influence as his wife. It is a classic move, isn't it? Taking professional grievances and funneling them through personal manipulation. Let's really talk about that bedroom scene. Brooke did not just ask for a promotion over morning coffee. She orchestrated a full romantic setup. She put on the lingerie. She buttered him up. And only then did she drop the bomb that she wants Steffi's job. Why did she do it that way? Well, think about it. Brooke knows Ridge better than anyone. She knows his psychological profile. She understands that Ridge is a man who is governed by his immediate surroundings. If he is happy and comfortable and feeling the love, he is much more likely to say yes to whatever is being asked. By creating that space of intimacy, she completely bypassed his logical, corporate brain. She spoke directly to his ego and his desire for harmony. Can we blame her? Or is it just plain wrong to use your marriage as a bargaining chip for a CEO title? Internally, Brooke has to be feeling a mix of things. She is desperate for her daughter, Hope, but she is also likely feeling like she is losing her own relevance. By pushing for that co-CEO spot, she is trying to reclaim the power couple status she once had with Ridge. Remember how Eric and Stephanie used to run the show? That is what she wants. It is not just about a paycheck or a bigger office. It is about proving she is still the queen of the castle. But the way she is going about it? It feels more like an emotional tax than a job application. She is basically telling Ridge that if he wants a happy marriage, he has to sacrifice his daughter's career. It is a high-stakes gamble. It frames leadership as a marital perk instead of something you actually earn. Honestly, it feels a bit desperate. If Brooke has earned her spot, which even Steffi admits she has, why does she need a candlelit dinner to ask for a promotion? It kind of undermines her own professional history, don't you think? It makes it look like she cannot win on talent alone. This is where the psychology gets really interesting. This looks like a classic case of enmeshment. Brooke cannot separate Hope's professional setbacks from her own identity. Her ego is so tied up in the Logan legacy that any win for Steffi feels like a personal loss for her. And then we have Ridge. Look at his reaction. Or really, look at his lack of one. He hasn't said no to Brooke yet. He did that usual head tilt of his and just stayed silent when Steffi asked if he understood she wasn't giving up her job. Why is he being so quiet? It is because he is terrified of conflict. He is a man caught between two fires. If he says no to his wife, he risks his marriage. If he says no to his daughter, he destroys his relationship with his child and the stability of his family business. His silence is not a lack of an opinion. It is a survival mechanism. But the funny thing is, by trying to stay neutral, he is actually betraying Steffy's trust. Ridge is likely feeling a massive amount of guilt. He wants to be the hero to both women, but he can't be. The roles are mutually exclusive right now. Every time he looks at Brooke, he sees his Logan. But every time he looks at Steffy, he sees the future of the company his father built. He is paralyzed. And by even considering Brooke's request, he is telling Steffy that she is replaceable. He is entertaining the idea that the whole corporate structure can be torn down based on who had a better night in the bedroom. It is pretty insulting to Steffy, right? She has put in the work. She has been there day in and day out. For her father to even hesitate is a huge red flag. Ridge really needs to find a backbone here. Allowing your wife to lobby for your daughter's job while you are in bed together is just unprofessional. It tells Steffy that her hard work means nothing compared to Brooke's powers of seduction. Now, let's talk about Steffy. She is not just sitting around waiting to be fired. She is about to make what people are calling a very dirty move. She is planning to relaunch Hope for the future without hope. Can you believe that? This is pure psychological warfare. Steffy knows that the brand is Hope's entire identity. By relaunching it with a new face, she is trying to erase Hope from the very company that carries her name. It is a complete goodbye and good riddance to the Logans. Why is she being so vindictive? Well, beneath that tough exterior, she is feeling deeply threatened. She is being territorial. If she cannot get Ridge to back her up, she is going to make the Logans so miserable that they leave on their own. It is defensive aggression. She is afraid of losing her status, so she is lashing out. Relaunching that line without the woman it was named after is the ultimate corporate gaslighting. It is Steffy saying the brand was never about Hope. It was about the machine that Steffy controls. It strips Hope of her creative voice and turns her own legacy into a weapon against her. Is it dirty? Oh, absolutely. But is it smart? If you are looking at it from a cold business perspective, maybe. If Hope leaves and goes to a rival house, she becomes the competition. Steffy is trying to poison the well before Hope can even get started. She is ruthless. But she truly believes she is the protector of the family heritage. In her mind, she isn't the villain. She is the hero saving the company from a manipulative snake. It is all about perspective, isn't it? And then there is the collateral damage. We cannot forget about Zend. He is getting completely lost in this mess, and he is furious. He has designed a whole collection that might never be seen. He represents the talent that is being ignored because of family drama. He did the work, but his career is being stalled by a fight he didn't even start. He is feeling invisible. He has the Forrester name, but he doesn't have that CEO blood that seems to give people the right to play with his career. His frustration is probably the most real thing in the office right now. It is professional alienation. When a creative person is told their work is being shelved for political reasons, it kills their spirit. Steffy is making a lot of enemies inside her own walls, and she might be underestimating how much that is going to cost her. The tension is hitting a breaking point. Someone has to break soon. Hope is on the verge of resigning to join Katie at Logan. That is not just a job change. It is a declaration of independence. But Steffy sees it as being a traitor. If Hope walks out, Steffy's revenge plot is going to go into overdrive. Imagine Hope walking into her new office at the Logan Fashion House, only to see a billboard for the new Hope for the future featuring someone else. It is not a rivalry anymore. It is a scorched earth campaign. And what about Ridge? If he actually makes Brooke co-CEO, Steffy might not just be upset. She might try to get Brooke fired. We are looking at a total family meltdown. Did I have a prediction about how this goes down? Ridge is going to try to frame this to Steffy as a good thing. He will probably say it is a way for her to spend more time with Finn and the kids. You know, that classic manipulative move where you pretended emotion is actually a gift of time. But Steffy is too smart for that. She is going to see right through it. She's going to reject that mommy track talk and launch a full-scale war. I wouldn't be surprised if Zend is the one who ends up giving her the most trouble. He could provide evidence of a hostile work environment, leading to a lawsuit that might force Eric to come back and strip everyone of their power. Can you imagine the chaos? The Logan Fashion House is going to gain a lot of momentum, too. Not because their clothes are necessarily better, but because they will market themselves as the fair alternative to the toxic Forrester regime. And Brooke and Ridge's marriage? It is on life support. You cannot build a CEO chair on a foundation of lies and lingerie without it eventually falling apart. It is a mess, and it is only getting messier. This war is just getting started. You do not want to miss a single second of it. So, I have to ask you, what do you think about Brooke's move? Is she being a manipulative snake, or is she just playing the game by the only rules the Forresters understand? And if you were Ridge, who would you choose? Would you pick your wife's happiness or your daughter's career? Is there even any middle ground left? Or is that bridge burned for good? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. Are you Team Steffy or Team Brooke in this corporate cage match? If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Forrester-Logan chaos, make sure you hit that like button. It really helps us out. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you are the first to know when the next big spoiler drops. We are tracking every betrayal and every fashion fail right here. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Now, let's look even closer at the specific moves being made, because the details are where the real drama hides. Steffy is being described as vindictive, and while we've seen that side of her before, this feels different. It's like she's lost all sense of professional boundaries because she feels so cornered. When you're in charge, you're supposed to be above the fray, but Steffy is jumping right into the mud.
Why?
Because the Logans represent everything she fears. They represent the loss of her father's attention and the potential dilution of the Forrester brand. When she looks at Hope, she doesn't see a colleague. She sees a rival for her father's soul. That's heavy, right? And Hope isn't just a passive victim here. She's fighting for her line. She told Liam she's proud of Hope for the future, and she's not giving up. But is she really fighting for the clothes? Or is she fighting for her place in the family hierarchy? Liam is pushing her to leave, telling her she'd be a great fit at Logan. He wants her away from the drama. But Hope is caught in the middle. If she stays, she has to deal with Steffy's dirty moves. If she leaves, she's labeled a traitor. It's a no-win situation. The role of the other Logan sisters is getting interesting, too. Donna is getting more screen time, and she's worried. She sees the family bond breaking down. She's warning Katie to put family before business. But Katie is focused on the boost Hope's line could give her new house. It's funny how everyone talks about family first until there's a CEO title or a successful fashion line on the line. Then suddenly it's all about the business. It makes you wonder if any of these people actually like each other, or if they're just tied together by blood and bank accounts. Now let's go back to Zen for a minute, because his situation is a great example of how this war hurts the people on the sidelines. He worked with Thomas for months on these designs. He's proud of them. And then Steffy just shuts it down. She tells him the launch is on hold, but she doesn't really give him a good reason. She says they need to focus on couture, but then she turns around and plans to relaunch HFTF with someone else just to spite Hope. That's got to sting. Zend isn't just grumbling to Carter for no reason. He's seeing that talent doesn't matter as much as whose daughter you are. That kind of environment is a ticking time bomb, and then we have the new characters entering the mix, like Elektra Forrester and Jesse. RJ is stepping up to protect Elektra from Remy Price, who's still hanging around. This adds a whole other layer of tension. While the adults are fighting over the company, the younger generation is dealing with their own secrets and rivalries. It's like a multi-generational war. If Steffy does make Elektra the new face of HFTF, it's going to put Elektra right in the line of fire. Does she even want that? Or is she just another pawn in Steffy's game? Every choice made this week feels like it's leading to a massive blow-up. The Bold and the Beautiful is famous for these long-simmering feuds, but this one feels particularly explosive. It's personal, it's professional, and it's happening all at once. Ridge is the pivot point for everything. If he makes a move, the whole house of cards could come down. He's trying to manage the anger in his household, but he's the one who let it get this bad in the first place by not setting clear boundaries. Think about the legal side of this for a second. Some fans are already pointing out that Steffy might be opening herself up to a lawsuit for creating a hostile work environment. If she's lying about needing to focus on couture just to get rid of Hope, that's not just dirty. It's potentially illegal. And using Hope's name and brand history without her? That's a contract nightmare waiting to happen. Steffi is so focused on revenge that she might be blinding herself to the corporate consequences. She's playing with fire and the whole company could burn. What about Finn? He's trying to be the supportive husband, pampering Steffi and giving her a place to vent. But he's also hearing from Liam. There's this worry that the drama at work is going to bleed into their personal lives even more than it already has. Finn is a doctor. He's used to dealing with life and death, but this corporate backstabbing is a different kind of stress. Can he keep Steffi grounded, or is she too far gone into her revenge plot? The Logans are gearing up for a fight. 2. Brooke's admission to Ridge about wanting that co-CEO spot could change their dynamic forever. Even if he says yes, will he ever trust her motives again? And if he says no, can their marriage survive? It feels like we're at a point of no return. The Peter Pan of the fashion world has to finally grow up and make a choice that's going to break someone's heart. The move to Logan for Hope is a huge deal. It's her chance to be out from under the Forrester thumb. But as some critics have pointed out, using Hope's line without Hope isn't the same. She's the spokesperson. She's the face. If Steffi relaunches it without her, it might just draw more attention to whatever Hope is doing at Logan. It could backfire in a massive way. Imagine if the new Hope for the future flops while Hope's new line at Logan becomes the next big thing. That would be the ultimate karma for Steffi. But Steffi isn't one to give up easily. She's got that Forrester pride. She thinks she's doing what's best for the company. She thinks the Logans are traitors who are taking valuable ideas to a competitor. And in a way, she's right. Hope is taking her talent elsewhere.
But why?
Because she wasn't appreciated where she was. It's a classic business mistake. Treating your best people so poorly that they go work for your biggest rival. This whole situation makes you look at loyalty in a different way. Is Hope being disloyal by leaving? Or was Forrester Creations disloyal to her first, by shelving her line? Is Brooke being disloyal to Steffi by asking for her job? Or is she just being loyal to her daughter? It's all a matter of who you're rooting for. There are no clear good guys here, just people with big egos and even bigger ambitions. As the week of May 11th unfolds, we're going to see the fallout of these decisions. Contract issues, revenge plots, and daring moves are the name of the game. It's the kind of drama that keeps us tuning in day after day. You have to wonder what Eric thinks of all this. His company is being torn apart by his son, his daughter-in-law, and his grandchildren. It's a legacy of conflict. One of the most interesting things to watch will be how the other employees at Forrester react. We see Zen's anger, but what about the rest of the team? If the leadership is this divided, it's hard for everyone else to do their jobs. A company cannot survive a civil war like this forever. Eventually, something has to give. Either the Logans go, or the Forresters lose their grip, and let's not forget the seduction element. Brooke using her powers to get what she wants is such a classic B&B trope, but it feels different in 2026. It feels a bit dated, honestly. But it also shows how Brooke views power. To her, power is personal. It's about influence. For Steffi, power is positional. It's about the title and the chair. These two different views of power are clashing in a big way. Who do you think has more real power right now? Is it the woman in the CEO chair, or the woman in the bedroom with the man who makes the decisions? It's a tough call. Ridge is the one who holds all the cards, but he's also the one who seems the least capable of playing them correctly. He's trying to keep everyone happy, which is the fastest way to make everyone miserable. I'm really curious to see how the relaunch of HFTF goes. If Steffi really puts Elektra's face on it, it's going to be a huge scandal in the fashion world. People are going to talk. The press is going to have a field day. Forrester relaunches line without its namesake. The headlines write themselves. It's a bold move, but it's also a very risky one. If you're Hope, how do you even respond to that?
Do you sue?
Do you just ignore it and focus on your new work? Liam is going to be in her ear, pushing her to take a stand. He's always been a bit of a pot stirrer when it comes to the Forresters. He wants Hope to be independent, but he also seems to enjoy the drama that comes with it.